That was a really good message, Mauricio, and so appropriate to so many things that are going on. And it's funny because sometimes it's easier to recognize that envy and that desire to preserve ourselves in others, but we forget to look at ourselves. By the way, with this sinkhole, that's what it looks like, a sinkhole where the water, the reservoir. So what would you say instead of saying immediately, I'm going to go park outside? What should you have done?
Well, first I went to talk with a person who was digging the hole, making the bigger, and they said, "Okay, we will close today the street. We will not be able to get in or get out." They told me. So panic started to come to my mind. Instead to think, okay, that they will inform us properly, or we will close the place. Okay, it's like trying to survive. Okay, because I have seen that there are different kind of people. Okay, I am the kind of person who has a very I love too much life, okay, and I want to be alive all the time. So I need to survive, okay. So instead to call to the president of the neighborhood, I said, "Oh, I will survive," okay, and no matter what happened to all of them, I will survive. So that is not right thing, honestly, because uh, because it's like I will do whatever is needed to survive. And and this is come obviously from fear, right?
But it's also a
But
natural instinct. It's natural
yeah, it's a
instinct.
natural, but there are persons who has more instinct than others, because honestly, I can see a lot of persons who are looking that the house is destroying and they are still remain inside the house. Oh, nothing will happen. So
Right.
the problem is the balance. Okay, that's the point. So, but I think, yeah, it was something like trying to survive that did not make me think properly. Okay, so you go by your instincts, and and this is exactly for me what happened to all this generation, because they hear the decree, and it's something really special about this portion that I have seen, that what happened if before they present the ketoret before the Lord, the incense, they said, "Oh, Moshe, we already meditated and we are wrong. Sorry, forgive us." And to say to God, "Forgive us," what will happen? The earth will swallow them, or the fire will come. I think God will see the repentance and say, "Oh, don't worry. Okay, I forgive you." But the problem is they remain in their own idea. So the problem is here. So um, and yes, I believe that is a daily fight against our instincts in this body and against what God puts inside of our brain, okay, with his thinking. Okay.
It goes right back to Adam and Eve.
Well, it's
Adam and
trust also, trust
Eve.
issues.
Exactly. If Adam and Eve had said, we're really sorry what we did, God would have forgiven them. We'd still be in the garden. It's good. That's our natural instinct.
But I think it's beyond, maybe the word instinct isn't right. I think it's really about trust. And also it's about our whole paradigm. Like in this world, you said something, Mauricio, about coveting being so part of our society. It's our whole worldview now. And it's so true, because I remember kind of being in a discussion argument with somebody, and I forget the exact issue, but it had to do with things in business, where there's a lot of evil that happens in business. Doesn't mean I'm against business. So I was saying something like, I said, that's terrible what they're doing. And this person answered me and said, that's business. And I looked at him and I said, no, that's not business, that's greed. So what we sometimes we cover everything and say, well, that's business. The same with what's happening now with rents here in Montreal. People, it's so expensive to move, it is incredibly expensive that even if your apartment's falling apart or whatever, and you say, I want to move. For me, for example, I mean, I'm happy here, but there's absolutely no way I could move because what I'm paying now, I will not find that somewhere else. Anyway, people often covet, but they call it something else. Oh, that's business. That's the way the world is now. It's not business, it's greed. And I remember you said also about envy being an illusion. Like we think that getting certain things and being pretty or being this way or losing weight and all these things are going to bring us peace and happiness. But really what's under it is hollow, and it's vanity. There's nothing wrong with certain things, but it's what lies beneath that. If you believe that that is the answer to life's, you're going to find happiness and joy in it. No, it's just empty, a vanity of vanities, like in Ecclesiastes. And it's anyway, there's so much to this message, and I think it all boils down to trust, because there's nothing wrong with looking at somebody's car and saying, wow, I like that car, it's what I've always wanted. That's not the same as envy, as looking at that and coveting it and saying, I want that, and that's going to bring me status in the neighborhood. Like there's so many things underneath what we really want. If you really want it from there's nothing wrong with wanting things. Our motives are what's, to me, important in everything. Anyway, thank you, Mauricio, for that message. Very good.
And I would like to add something that you mentioned, because I was trying to express myself, but and is that envy, it has a problem. Okay, is not alone. I mean, just unique sin. Okay, the envy, it has some brothers, okay, that are very close and very together. One is Lashon Hara, okay, because they speak evil things that are not true, things that is his desire of his heart, or something that they imagine the other person is doing. Is not about facts. Is about ideas. Okay, so there is Lashon Hara. Then the second thing is that they need persons that hears and reproduce your idea.
Your voice went off.
You got struck, Mauricio.
stuck.
Start again?
You said
Your
it
voice
was produced.
Do you hear me now better?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The second thing is that is for me, you need to spread the message to another persons. It's like the COVID. COVID is not happy in just one person. COVID is happy with killing a lot of people. Okay, so is the very same with envy. Korach started to have this feeling, just he alone. According to the Midrash, it says that probably the woman of Korach, look at him very handsome. Okay, but remember that when the Levites in all these tribes, in all these families, came to the service of God, Moshe how do we say that in English? Rasuraron, they,
Shaved
it's
his
not
head?
just cut, yeah,
Shaved?
yeah, shave their heads, okay, and that is what it means, Korach, calvo, okay, so they shave their heads, and then the woman of Korach look at him and told him, that is the midrash, right? Hey, that is an invention of Moses. He made it just to make love on you. That is not, that couldn't come from the Lord. Okay, that is an idea of Moses. So start to have this idea, okay, and then he just start to open his heart to this idea and start to think, oh, I want that position and that one. And what happened to him? He spread the message to the Dathan and Abiram, and then they spread the message. Remember, 1 to 2, and then to 250. Okay, and then it says the whole congregation gathered. So so you can see how the envy is reproducing itself, because it is a kind of mistake that you cannot just keep to yourself. It needed to came out and spread the message and corrupt everybody, because you need that everybody can feel your very same feeling about the other person. Okay, so and that's why it is, and I omit that in the message, but I made for example, in El Salvador during the 70s and 80s decade, there were some supposedly revolutionary people, okay, that they wanted to have the power to change the reality of the society in El Salvador. And they start to fight against the very rich people in my country, against the government. They made a lot of mistakes, okay? But the problem is that they went to the 2010 to the power in our country, the very same people who said, oh, this is corruption, this is something bad, and there is injustice in our society. Okay, they were communists. They went to the power. And what happened to them? They just, you look at them and you realize that they only had envy. They didn't have thirst of social justice. They put like these guys or these guys you know you say, oh, social injustice. No, they were envy persons.
Right.
Okay, because they didn't change nothing. They steal more money. They were more corrupted. And that is something that I can see in all Latin America that happened with Venezuela, with Chavez and Maduro and all these person, with Fidel Castro at Cuba, with Daniel Ortega at Nicaragua,
It's happening. It's happening in Canada right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the problem is that in their hearts have envy.
Right.
It's not about they want to change the world, to
Right.
make a better place for all of us. Right. So yes, the problem of envy and covet, greed is in our society.
Yeah, last week you spoke about when to speak and when not to speak, because that's one of my biggest problems is, you said, don't even waste your time speaking to a fool because they're not going to listen. Here, would you say Korach is a fool? And Dathan and Abiram, all these men were like fools. They had made up their minds and nothing was going to change them. And sometimes it's like, here, Moses did everything he could to try to convince them. And they all died. Nothing happened. They were not, he wasn't able to convince. When I see that happening to someone who's close to me, do I even bother wasting my time to try to talk to them? Because, you know, I could point out Torah to them and they'll say, oh, you know, who are you to talk Torah? They don't want to listen. I
Yeah,
sometimes know when to speak and when not to speak.
yeah. Moshe in this portion tried to speak to them.
And it did nothing.
Yeah, he did nothing, but you know, he speak. That is very important because he
So we should
tries
speak.
that, yeah, you should speak if you want to gain a brother, if you want to make him a better person. But when when he realized they will not hear, he starts just to say, and
That's
no,
it.
there, yeah, that's it. So when they present the Ketoret, for example, Moshe didn't speak. Even Aaron didn't speak.
Right.
It's just things happen, okay? And Lord just came with fire and opened the earth. So and after that, it says that even when the plague came, okay, it didn't say nothing like Moshe speak or Aaron speak. No, Aaron just offer a ketoret in the plague stop. So it is very difficult because you know. But for example, you see, for example, if I can see, for example, Pablo, and he goes to the super, and I look at him and look that he's stealing something. Do I have to keep my mouth closed? No. Obviously, I will say, Pablo, what you're doing is not right. Okay.
Mhm.
So you speak. If he is wise, okay, he will put the thing that he
Back.
spoke at the back. Yeah. But he didn't want to listen. So what would you do?
You let him suffer
Probably
the
you would, yeah, you let him know the consequence. Hey, don't do that because the consequence will be that and that. So if he doesn't want to listen that third time, what happened? Okay, do it. I will look at you, then tell me what happened. Okay. So that is exactly what's happening with all this matter of to speak or not to speak. Because the if the person is wise, that person loves you more. Okay. Because he will be thankful because, oh, thank you, because you know what you said helped me. But if that person is not wise, the person will get angry with you.
And we need to find the
And
way, we need to find a way of speaking it so that it doesn't sound like we're judging them. We're just giving them, this is what's going to happen. These are the facts. I guess it's a tone of voice. It's how we come across. That's important. I mean, Moshe was humble, so he had the kind of personality that
yeah,
that
something I have happened to me. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, last week in El Salvador, I don't know if in Canada, but I didn't know that we have a gay parade. Okay, a Pride Day of LGTB plus
yeah,
minus
yeah.
whatever. Okay, so the point is that I Santi is practicing basketball during the evening. So I moved to myself to Santi's to picking up, and then uh you know there were I start to look and some person very strange at the street. You know, is what happening here. Okay, and then a person with trousers, but with two holes in the pumpies it was something horrible, okay, because they were speaking, showing their bodies, okay. So the point is there were no cops, no police at any place, okay.
Wow.
And the problem is that the traffic was stuck and was terrible. Then I looked for a street, okay, and then I took another street, but a lesbian woman decided to put her motorcycle blocking the street, and
Ah,
nobody could pass, okay, because they wanted to be here, okay. So all the words that I spoke in Lech Lecha, I forgot, okay, at that moment, okay, because it came to my mind, what is happening here, okay. So I just put the window down, and I called the very first was, could you please move your motorcycle? There's a lot of traffic behind me, so we need to pass. Okay, I need to pick my son at his class, and I delay because of what you're doing. Okay, and she said, no, I will not. Okay, now I just looked at her and waited. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Said no, it's enough. Okay.
yeah.
So I just, and that was my scene. Against the window down, and I shout to her, move that thing, the street. Okay. And she said, no, I will not. Okay.
Oh,
But I was red like tomato. Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I decided to move my car and goes to this, instead to go to the street, go to where people walks, and try
All right.
to move. Okay, but I will hit the motorcycle was put in such way that you had to move. So I decided to go down my car, take the motorcycle,
Yeah.
and move by myself the motorcycle. I said, okay, if that woman, well, I don't know, tries to hit me, okay, I will let the motorcycle goes down because she
Yeah.
wanted to recover the motorcycle. And I will go very fast.
Yeah.
And then she started to pause me. I don't know if I went to some place, but take a video and photos about me because I
Oh,
was moving
oh,
her bicycle. But I was very angry.
oh,
Okay,
yeah.
honestly, and I told to her, you are destroying my rights. I have the right to move.
Right.
Okay, and you what you're doing is that over your right to be here, to be heard. Now you are destroying all the rights of the person behind us.
Right.
So and then I went out. But in that example, for example, it's very easy to know who is fool. Okay,
Right.
because at the very first time I tried to talk, then I shout to her just to make my voice louder. I thought, oh, she will move, and she was like, I don't know, like talking to a tree with no answer,
Yeah.
and then she also didn't want to do something just to feel myself to me. And that kind of persons, when you try to convince them, okay, because obviously they have some Palestine's flags,
Right.
okay, and you start to try to help them. Okay, go to Palestine
Yeah.
and see what happened to you.
Exactly. I
Okay.
told them that.
And
Yeah.
they did, and they don't believe you
No,
that they will be killed or thrown from
the roof.
the roof.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so so that are very full person. How could you try to speak to them? They will
Yeah.
not hear you. So don't talk to them. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, I made something that I tried to convince her. When I saw it's impossible, I had to act, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what Moshe did. He tried to convince them, and then he had to act. Okay,
Right. Then he had to act. Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
Angel, please.
Yeah.
Yes, these are about the authority. There is a way that people act sometimes, and they act because of what they've learned or they were taught or told, but they don't have any knowledge at all. So in this portion also, I found very contradictory thing. Um, you know, is that the creator will act as a ruler man, or as a overlord to kill anyone who doesn't obey or follow his commands. And it seems that he forgets that he said in Exodus 19:6 that you shall be to me a kingdom of priests. And in the Hebrew, it doesn't say Levites; it says a kingdom of Kohanim,
Right.
holy nation. So this is a very thing that you start thinking about. Okay, what's going on? Does the creator, it doesn't remember what is the purpose of guiding Israel, preparing Israel, teaching Israel? Uh, Now there is another thing that I think is that how do you think that a true Kohanim is the one who operates under the higher authority of words and instructions, okay, that they were given to him, even though not with full understanding, okay, and or the Kohanim who acts under higher authority from the Ruach, the spirit, and the soul within him. There is a big difference of knowing because you have lived it, you live the situation and you understand, than just to do things without knowing. And now there is another thing that I want to say is that there is a part of our leadership. If you think about it, how Yeshua was teaching, to the people in a way of that he knew, and he was speaking from within, from the spirit, from knowledge of, and not only speaking, repeating words or being able to answer things because you study it and you memorize it, but you don't have any meaning or any, substantial substance, of life in it. So yeah, it's a very, very um, it's
It's great.
it's it's to whom we give the authority. Basically, I'm thinking, are we giving the authority to some rules that they're given to us to follow, but if we don't get to understand or to, it's like, for example, having someone who can tell you how to change a motor and has all the knowledge of, every piece is this and this, but has never performed it, he has never even changed a flat tire. So
Yeah.
now it gets to the point of, okay, so now it has to be something in us. What will God kill if we know that our spirit is part of we are, made as his image likeness? And why is all about, control, all about fear, all about, focus on get rid of the people who doesn't follow what you say. Like, this is for, especially for the religious. That is why we have so many denominations and so many divisions among the Judaism, the sects. Each one has its own ways, and each one has created its own understanding, but none of them go within in the heart, within the spirit, with what the spirit tells us. Everybody knows that things are wrong. Obviously, we have that, like what you say, Peggy, about making business, or business is business. No, as you say, greed is greed. Or was a medium? Sorry, greed is greed, and you know it. Why do you know it? Because there is something within you that is part of the creator and is telling you, hey, this is wrong. You feel it, you know it. So when we follow that intuition that comes from within us, from the ruach, from the spirit, this is the spark that God put on us, and we act on with that. This is more has more authority than anyone who has memorized books and stories and doesn't have any clue how to fix or give a solution to any problem.
But that's kind of
Yeah.
what, sorry, Mauricio.
So,
So I know
no, please,
everyone
please.
has that
No.
development. Each one has different states.
I think that's
Yeah.
why, like I have a family, four of us kids, and we all have different ways of approaching life. But at certain points, even though we disagree, we have some common elements. Like you're saying, Angel, it's about, let's say, wanting to be kind, wanting to do the right thing, even if we don't put it in the same box or the same belief system. But then there are people, like when I went to the march, remember we went, Peggy, to McGill, to the, there's certain people there. There was one or two people, remember, we could talk to, and at least they would receive part of it. And there was even maybe for a second a bit of common ground. But after that, when people start going like that and going, that you cannot say anything anymore. It's just falling against a wall. So I think we know that. And even when you're on the street and you meet people, there are a lot of kind people who you can get into discussion and but there's going to be, it's different than when you meet a person who's almost without conscience, and that there's nothing you can do. Like Moses could not do anything except
and that is what
except
is
pray.
the
Sorry,
is it-
Angel, what?
is what you say is the conscious. The people who they don't have conscience, but okay. This
So
is
we can't do anything about that. So that's
it's
what you're
that
saying.
because it's okay. You cannot teach people. I mean, what the religious system has done is that trying to bring the people to be under a set of rules, okay, without being or having any conscious or understanding sometimes. So the people stays in that state and it doesn't evolve. And if you tell them something, oh no, this is not how it works, and you contradict whatever you are, they create this wall. They are not open. They are not, it's like there's like a fear, because they built the entire life upon this wall, upon these beliefs and this, even though, it's not really. I mean, it's how can I say? It's hard. It's hard. We have to deal with all these systems that they have been put for thousands of years. And the only thing that is keeping people, as you say, in a state of not without being conscious. And then you find people who might not have, you find the common ground, which is, and you realize that is what we understand as God, who God is, kindness, love, respect, no control but freedom. In order you speak, I understand this is how you understand, and this is how your growth, this is what you acquire in your understanding. but there are common grounds, and those are where I say is part of God. This is what we are in common with them. But when you talk about these people that they have been all brainwashed, and they are not up. Okay, they are not able. Okay, this is the difference is that us, we can question. So that means that we can see their thoughts that they are trying to teach us, in the sense of uh, indoctrinate us with their beliefs. Okay, but they are not able to use their own thought to uh, um, to question and to try to understand it, from other perspectives. It just, they don't have developed this ability, this, which is being able to question and being able to confront these teachings or these thoughts.
I
Yeah,
just,
I would like to add something very quickly. Judaism is I wouldn't say that like a religion system. I would say that a culture. We have the culture to question constantly, questioning ourselves, questioning what other people said. And now they're questioning Moshe. Okay. But the problem is that Moshe did not put himself as leader. The
Yeah,
problem is that God put Moses and decide to put Aaron. Now these persons, yeah, obviously they said, oh, they are brothers. That is a legal thing. So so they that they keep quiet. Okay. And this is something very important because the only one who can judge in this portion was God. Moshe did not emit any judgment. He was like approving on what Korach said. Okay, hey, we are a nation of priesthood. Okay, Eh, so please, but the problem is, imagine that Korach took the position. Do we have today a Torah? I don't think so. Okay, because this portion happening on the third year, more or less, not on the 40 years. They needed to have a leader, okay, like Moses' heart to 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 have all this new generation prepared to enter to the promised land. Korach was not indicated because what he wanted the power, he wanted the money.
mhm,
Okay, Moshe was not interested, but the problem is that that is something that is invisible for all the human persons, which is the intention.
right.
The
God knows.
intention of, yeah, the intention. So who judge and who decree the punishment to all these persons? Moshe was quiet,
Mhm.
was God,
I understand.
God by himself.
Before,
And
before you
then,
continue, I just
yeah,
want to say Shabbat Shalom to everyone. I need to go be with
yeah,
the family.
okay, Shabbat
Thank you,
Shalom.
Mauricio, again. Thank you, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Have a
Awesome.
great
Shabbat
next week.
Shalom.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
Enjoy
Shabbat
the
shalom.
vacations.
Amen. Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay,
So,
so
yes,
Shabbat shalom.
what I wanted to say is this, is like, the
that,
people, okay, as long as we have, it's okay when you have a group which in charge to bring, how can I say that they are more have more understanding, they are more they have more wisdom, they have more, and they're trying to help the rest of the people as at the beginning. But once that everyone knows and sees and starts to understand, now everyone, it's part of you know, we become more like we understand more, and we can you know, we don't have the need of being ruled or being controlled by a little group. You know what I mean? When each one has their own responsibilities. You know, if I tell you, for example, okay, from now on you have to do, if I talk to my children, you have to do you know, these chores, you know, this, so you have to do, you know, from now on you have to wash the dishes, you have to do this, and you have to do that. Then if once they learn that, they already are capable to see and understand that they have this responsibility, and from now on they will continue and they will do the same thing. So now, if they want, they only had me before just to tell them what to do, and you know, from now on they don't need me anymore. They already know what the chores are. I don't have to tell them what to do. They already learned that. So why would they still having me? Okay, they will have to come back to me asking, do I have to do the chores? Do I have to? No, that is not the purpose of growing. And each one of us, we need to grow, you know, in that aspect.
Yeah,
So,
but the problem is that people doesn't want to
exactly.
not necessarily.
But you know what?
People is
Because
better to, it's more
the system,
comfortable not to think by
exactly,
yourself.
the same system is promoting two things: that the one group will be always elevated than other, and that the people who stays in that state, because of that, and the laziness, they will stay there. But this is we don't go anywhere. It will stay forever like this unless we bring all together, you know, in the sense of you know, participating, where
Only
we
God
are
can
all
do that.
equals, we are all the same, and we are here to elevate each other so that we can all, you know, be an like they say, like even when we read in Exodus 19:6, that we shall all, you shall be to me all a kingdom of priests, a holy nation, so that everybody will be a Kohanim. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
not
and
now.
you know, yeah, but it is
So,
interesting what you're saying, because remember that also in Lech Lecha, well, I don't think it was Lech Lecha, probably was another portion that we read recently. They start to prophesize, and then came out two men, Eldad Medad, and start to prophesize. And Moses, what he did, hey, he said to Yehoshua, hey, don't stop them. How I would like, that's the heart of a real leader. How I do desire that all Israel prophesies. Okay, he didn't want the power for himself. He wanted that all Israel grow up enough, right, that they don't need Moses. The problem is that as you mentioned, there is a system created like for the men, okay, that someone wants to rule other people, and the other that are ruled, they
yeah,
are happy because they don't have to decide by themselves and take
you know,
responsibility.
you know what Yeshua taught to all his disciples? If you see, if if we had in Israel that all the yeshivas will train and will teach the rabbis, okay, to focus on teaching each one of in Israel, each of the Israelites, okay, to become itself its own rabbi. Just to say, just, you know, as an example, you know, to the point that you know, they wouldn't, you know, the people will not be lazy anymore. They will have this desire of responsibility, you know, of knowing, and no, it's, how can I explain this with an example, you know? Yeah, if the rabbis were, the mission was, listen, of course there's some rabbis that just, you know, rabbis, but the you know, in the of diploma, I guess, and many of them, they still have a lot of growth to go. They're very young, they have not wisdom yet, they need to go through life in order to but if they will focus to teach the people to become responsible, to be their own, uh, we wouldn't have any need for more teachers if each one will be himself a teacher.
Ansel, I think it's more than that. I think really that people can only be reached. It's not that yes, the rabbis have a responsibility, but I think people are just not open to God's presence. Some people aren't. And it's because God touches, we don't need a rabbi to be touched by God. And I think the way the world has gone now, just as a whole, it's so amoral, without a moral conscience, that we're talking a different language. You can talk until you're blue, but then there are individuals we meet on our walks or when we're going to the store. There are a lot of people with conscience. And if they're, that's different. We just have to in our everyday life, I think, just keep the 10 commandments, be as kind as we can and do the best we can. And then in our own families, my sister's coming from Japan and we're going to talk about things, but I know there are things that we just cannot, but we talk and we know when it's just, we have to let it go and see what, so it's a judgment call. But, some of the rabbis are wonderful rabbis and there are people who listen, but there are others you have to wonder, are they more like Korach and interested in power? Who knows? God knows the intentions of our heart and their hearts, so I don't think it's, sorry, what?
No, it's just that for me it's also that that we've been talking about this. There are people who decide to be fools, okay, and they are happy to be fools because they don't have rules, okay. They are free, but to do evil things, okay. So they decide to to put like something to their hearts, like a protection, and then they start to like paro, okay. Oh no, I will not let him go, and but you're looking that your nation is being destroyed, but you don't want to change, okay. So but the point is that until the persons don't want to realize that is for their own good to grow, because it is like a how do you say that, cartel is just rótulo, which it says, for example, here I put, everybody can see this, and they wrote, HIV, do not destroy me. When you ignore me, you destroy me. Say, amen. Obviously, that both things destroys you, okay, and you need to realize that if you don't put limits in your sexual things,
right,
then you will have a problem, and that is not God's desire, right? But the problem is they people wants to hear just their own part of the of what is for good for them, okay, and not good for all people, okay. In I don't know, and that is something that I cannot answer here. God put us in us and the spirit, okay, in every living person, okay. put his spirit in us, but not all people desire, and I don't know why, knowing that is the best thing, wanted to develop themselves.
Yeah,
Okay.
to listen to it basically and search within.
Yeah.
Remember when
And
Shaul said,
Mhm.
Rav Shaul said something like their consciences were seared, you know, like burnt. Like it's when you allow yourself to get almost to a certain point, the doors close like Pharaoh. The doors on your conscience close, and it's like God allows them to continue in their sin. Like remember, there's parts of the messianic writings that talk about like the doors of your conscience of you've gone too far, like Pharaoh, and the doors close, and God allows you to continue. You've made that choice, you know.
You know,
I mean, but a lot of people haven't reached that point where they're like the Pharaoh, the doors are closed. So as long as there's some common ground, but you know, there's nothing you can do except see where there's some common ground. Otherwise, like Mauricio with the woman and the motorcycle, at a certain point you just had to take action and take the motorcycle.
You know what, Miriam? Where there is another teaching that the Creator gave us through the representation of the temple. It's about the curtain or the veil. That is a clear representation about us and God. Okay, well, we know that in the temple, as we learn the presence, you know, of the Creator. Supposedly, the Creator was there, and there was a veil that only the priest could come in, you know, in certain specific time. But the teaching was this: that it's to cross this veil, and to cross this veil implies like this step where it goes beyond your consciousness, beyond what you think, because we are limited by a lot of fear, number one, a lot of we don't know what is going to happen, you know. I better stay secure, and this is part of our brains. We are conditioned by our brains and our ways of thinking, but we are not taking the intuition that comes from the spirit. For the God comes from the heart, which it tells us to move forward and to act accordingly in faith. With this is what in Yeshua, in the time of Yeshua, when he will find all these people that they were sick, that will come and he will tell them, okay, you want to be healed? Yes, go there and give them the instructions, go there. And so they needed to break that veil that they had of thinking, oh, but if I go there and have leprosy, you know, they're going to kill me. You know, they're going to just, you know, because I cannot go to that place and just bathe in this pool, you know. No, they will see
but
that.
it's a trust issue, we know
We have to cross this veil.
Yeah, it's
when
trust.
we cross this veil, you know, we get to know who God is, who God really is, that we are connected to him, you know, through his spirit in us. And we're starting to interact with his spirit, and we're starting to live and starting to learn how to walk in the spirit, walk with understanding of God, you know, what God is. No anymore under text, words and literature and
But
and
we know that, Angel. You're talking to the
I know. I know. I keep doing
it's
that.
A journey. It's a journey.
Not for you guys, but it's for
a journey, Angel, and we're all on it. It's a big journey.
It is. Everyone has a journey to do, you know, and you know, laziness. We are, you know, everyone has in our lives. Each one knows where are good at and which things are, you know, for us we are having problems with, you know. And it's part of our journey of you know, walking and dealing with that, and sometimes, you know, when things are too heavy, for whatever we have done in our lives. There's things that they have to be improve, and we need to get better in it. But as Yeshua said, also, to take his, when he refers about his burden, and take his burden that is light. So in the sense of to just, not focus on the bad stuff, but focus on the right and good stuff, and that will help us to continue, despite of our limitations, and despite of who we are, where we come from, and God is with us. And if God is within us and we walk in his presence, there is nothing outside, in this world that can or will harm us, in the sense of of knowing that God is in us. There is, that is already something very powerful, to understand that, and to not have fear, and to trust God always.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time to close, but I really want to wish a very good day, and that you enjoy your day with your families and with your own, and Shabbat Shalom and Shabbat Tov. Okay. I hope to see you next time.
Shabbat
Okay.
shalom. Thank you,
Shabbat
Mauricio.
Shalom to all of
Shabbat
you.
shalom. Shabbat shalom.